Hello, folks. We're going to talk a little bit tonight about the Steve Bannon and Donald Trump dust up and how unfortunate it is for all of us, actually. This is part of the problem. We live in the social media world where instantaneous response is required, or else the narrative goes around the world before you get your boots on. And that's a little bit of what happened here. I'm a little concerned that Bannon didn't realize, out of all people that should know the Twitter world that we live in, he should have known. He could have responded to this much quicker, and he did not. Although I must say, if you've watched Steve Bannon in the past, then you already know that part of his strategy, and this is something that has bled over to Trump. You will notice this in some of the things that Trump does, and this comes from Bannon, and that is the strategy of allowing the news media to get ahead of their skis. Something will come out there. You expect immediate response. They don't respond, and the media goes apoplectic, as you could expect. Oh, we've got him now, and they just wait for a while, and then they come out with something that just totally eviscerates the story and makes them look like fools. It may have been in Bannon's mind that this is what was going to happen. What he did not expect was Donald Trump's reaction. He should have. Donald Trump, his greatest strength is also his greatest weakness, and that is his ego. And what I mean by that is that Donald Trump is a street fighter because of his ego. Anybody who just even remotely puts him down in any way, he is just out there punching the hell out of you in no uncertain terms immediately. This actually won him the presidential election because so many people, like me, were sick and tired of the GOP just sitting back and taking it and never fighting. We wanted a fighter, and we didn't have one. And even people who pretended to be fighters, the minute some controversial subject, or if it had anything to do with race, if it had anything to do with gays, if it had anything to do with, children or whatever, boy, they were just, oh, no, we're out of here. And they would immediately go on TV and bend over and take it. And we were just sick of it. That's a great, you cannot underestimate how much that contributed to Donald Trump's winning the presidency of the United States. And I think a lot of that came from Steve Bannon. Most of that type of, if you look back at it, most of that type of strategy came after Steve Bannon came on board. So I think Bannon misunderestimated, to give you another Bushism, Donald Trump's reaction. He should not have. He should have known that that's the type of person that he is. But anyway, the point here is that this author is a known liar. Every book he's put out, there is a plethora, not just one, not two, several. There are many people who have come out and said, look, this guy, he makes up quotes out of whole cloth. I didn't even say that. Or he takes a quote and he adds to it. I didn't say that. Or he takes a little bit of a quote out of context and tries to use it in his own way. This guy's been accused of this over and over again. This is who we're dealing with here. Donald Trump and Steve Bannon both should have known that they could have come out and attacked the author of the book only. Nobody else. Just the author of the book, and they would have been fine. But that Trump ego and that instinct to punch back no matter what took over, because once he gave the statement that he gave, he totally distanced himself from Bannon forever. And you'll notice in the Trump statement is more of the ego, because it was like, oh, he thinks he won the presidency for me, but he didn't win it. I won it. Well, we all know that you won it, Donald. You don't have to tell us that. But that's just that little bit of ego that he just can't help himself. He has to Show everybody that it's me, me, me. And sometimes that works against you. Anybody who thinks, there's people all over out there who are just starting to trash Bannon and say, oh, I'm Trump all the way, and MAGA, 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 and we're not going to have this traitor in our movement, and blah, blah, blah. You're missing the bigger picture, folks. You're missing it, and you're missing it in a big way. Because if you think long term and you think strategy, who won? Think for just a second. Who won by this little kerfuffle we have here? Well, I guarantee you, Mitch McConnell is having champagne. Paul Ryan is doing the little Snoopy dance. And every other establishment Republican within Washington, D.C. is having a party tonight over what just happened. Because what did Bannon swear that he was going to do once he got out of the White House? He said, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to fight establishment Republicans in the next election. We're going to take them all down. He didn't say this one or that one or that. He said all of them. We're going to attack all of them. And I'm going to raise $1 billion and we're going to go out there and we're going to attack all of these establishment Republican people who aren't doing what they promised that they would do. How long have you been pissed off about voting for some GOP guy who did not do what he promised to do? How long? Steve Bannon was your hero. He was the guy out there. He was the general out on the field, wielding a sword, willing to spill his blood to fight these people to the bloody end. Donald Trump was up above it. He's the king in the castle. He doesn't get any blood on him. And what happened here? The bottom line, what happened here is Steve Bannon died. He died on the battlefield. And that means that everything he was going to do died. All of that money he was going to raise, they've already said, there's some donors that are backing out. And no way, we're not going to be associated with this guy. You think that helps you? You think you got help by that? I'm sorry, my friend, you're mistaken. You're sadly mistaken. You didn't get helped at all. And it's unfortunate because Donald Trump didn't get helped at all either. What they should have done is they should have talked to each other and they should have attacked the author of this book. It would be easy to do. It's easy to do. They could line up all the people in the past who have been trashed by this guy and just start putting them out there on the media. This guy's a hack. He's a liar. He puts quotes out there that aren't real. Now, there is one little thing here that I'm not sure of yet, and we will find out soon. He claims to have tapes. Perhaps he does. Does he have tapes of the exact quotes that are in his book? Now, the media doesn't care. If he has tapes and there's anything, if there's one little scintilla of Bannon talking bad about Trump's children or Trump himself, they will just glob onto that and say, there you go, proof positive, everything in the book is true. Well, that's not true. The problem that Trump had in my mind is the statement that Donald Trump Jr. meeting with the Russian lawyer or whatever that had some Hillary dirt or whatever was treasonous. If that word does not come out of Steve Bannon's mouth in these tapes, then it's all bullshit, because this is where Trump went crazy. And why wouldn't he? He has a special prosecutor whose mission in life is to impeach him over Russian collusion. And now we got a guy out there who's supposed to be his friend that says his son is treasonous because he met with Russians. Come on. It's the worst betrayal that there could possibly be. But I want you to think about something before you make up your final mind on what this is all about. I want you to think about this very seriously. In every instance in history where an outsider came in and won power, right? So you've got a king or a prince or just a dictator or whatever. It doesn't matter whether it's communist, whether it's a dictator, whether it's a monarchy, or whether it's actually a democratic government, or whatever it is. When an outsider comes in and takes over the reins of power when he's not supposed to, all of the people, I mean, they call it the palace intrigue, right? Once he gets in there, everybody's positioning for power. All of this happens throughout history. When an outsider comes in, all of the people within the palace, once he gets there, they start bending his ear that his friend that got him there, whether it be his general, his strategist, his political advisor, his best friend, whatever it is, whoever that guy was that was mostly responsible for getting that person into power, they attack that person. And they bend the ear of the leader, and they tell him, oh, he's not really your friend. He's a traitor. You think he's your friend, but he's really a traitor. Did you hear what so-and-so said about him? It's not that hard to do. You think it's really hard. Donald Trump has so many things on his plate. He doesn't have time to pay attention to everything, right? So he's out there doing the business and stuff. Somebody goes to Steve Bannon, just to give you an example. Somebody goes to Steve Bannon and says, hey, this conservative group over here wants you to speak. They're going to pay you a lot of money and they want you to speak. They're particularly interested on how you won the election for Donald Trump. And so Bannon's like, oh, yeah, I'll do that. And he goes and he makes the speech. In the meantime, they go tug the ear of Donald Trump. You know, Steve's been saying he won the election, not you. Is he really your friend? Are you sure you know this guy? I mean, he's out there saying he won the election. I kind of thought you did, Donald. I mean, just me. I thought you did. But, you know, maybe you're all right with that. Maybe you're okay with Steve going out there saying he did it instead of you. You know, and then the next day the video comes out of Steve Bannon in front of this conservative group talking about how he won the election. And then Donald Trump sees that and wait a minute. They're right. He's out there taking credit for my win. It's that easy, folks. It's that easy. Especially when you have somebody with an ego like Donald Trump. And I'm so sad about this because regardless of the veracity of the statements made or whatever, I'm a long war guy. You know, some people fight the short war and some people fight the long war. I fight the long war. And I'm here to tell you, the only people who are happy with what's going on are establishment Republicans and Democrats. And any time that establishment Republicans and Democrats are happy, I ain't happy at all.